Intro.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new
Well, folks, welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway here on this beautiful Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and you have found yourself right smack dab in the middle of a championship race right here, the Championship 4. We'll duke it out here tonight at Las Vegas. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is the Redneck Announcer, Jake Reeves. Got Dean Biggles on the cameras and also going to be co-announcing with me tonight. And Dean, we've sat right here and watched these guys over the past couple of weeks. We've watched them all the way to when they get to the playoffs, all the way through the playoffs. There you see it, all the way through the round of 12, the round of 9, and then all the way to the Championship 4. You got Jeremy Gardner, basically your pick from last week at Darlington. Brandon Evans, the McConey setup shop driver. You got Eddie Smith, the guy that was Victoria's Secret Toyota Tundra for so many weeks, and then all of a sudden said, screw it, I'm going with the Tide truck. And then the owner, Patrick Drabick of Goat Locker. 4 drivers. Got a shot to try to get some hardware tonight, Dean. Who you got?
Well, first of all, we get some pictures, my dear friend, because we're going to get some pictures up on the screen. But hello, welcome, everybody. I don't know what's going on at the moment. We'll get those pictures to you as quickly as possible. They were working a second ago. Well, you know, that's a toughie. There it is. Oh, that took a while. Wow. I guess it's excited as well in anticipation to see what's going to happen here with the 4 top guns here for the Championship 4, plus other drivers, of course, that come in and join this party just for adding some fun. Ray out there, of course, is good evening, gentlemen. Hello again. Well, first of all, in order to see how this is going to conclude itself there, sir, we need a grid. Let's bring it up.
Absolutely, and oddly enough, Brandon Evans, he will start on the pole, the only driver to hit a 30.6 out of the field here this evening. Patrick Drabick will start right beside of him in that second spot. James Kaufman will start third, and Jeremy Gardner, the regular season champion, he will start fourth. Jamie Barkus will be in that 5th spot, and Eddie Smith, the last driver out of the championship 4, he will qualify in the 6th spot. Jake Ellingson will get 7th. James Gosham will be 8th. Cody McElwain, good to see Cody back. He will start 9th, and Doug Ellingson rounds out the 10-truck field here this evening at Las Vegas. It's going to be a barn burner all the way down to the end, honestly, Dean. I mean, you got 4 horses right here: Evans, Drabick, Gardner, and Eddie Smith. I mean, any of these drivers are very, very capable of winning here at this 1.5 miles of Las Vegas. But don't count out some of these other guys like James Kaufman, like Jamie Barkus, like Jake Ellingson. Those guys can still get up here and play a factor for the end of this race. It's all about who finishes ahead of the other one. If Brandon Evans finishes ahead of the other 4, I mean, hell, he could finish 7th, and the other 3 finish behind him 8th, 9th, and 10th. Brandon Evans would win the championship, folks. That's basically how this goes. It is NASCAR style for the playoffs. 125 laps, no stages right here, Dean. It's going to be a barn burner.
Oh, but we're going to stick a fire underneath it right now and light it up, and they're going to be lighting up these trucks. All 10 of them. The smaller field grid, you'd imagine there'll be less cautions and more green flag racing. It's going to show pure pace there. And there is the truck peeling in here for the finale here this evening there, Jacob. Look out for Brandon, Patrick, Jeremy, James, Eddie, and the rest of the field. Let's go.
Green flag in the championship 4 race here at Las Vegas. Evans tries to see if he can get away. Drabick's going to slip right back behind him and get in the draft. Gardner, who started 4th, he's able to get around James Kaufman, so he'll slide right down in behind him. And Gardner actually looking just a little bit early. Now Drabick's looking early as Drabick drops down to the bottom of Brandon Evans. And folks, here with these trucks at Las Vegas, it is all about the draft. It's all about the momentum. Ooh. And Drabick trying to carry it off of turn 4 and try to lead this first lap. James
goes down into the inside apron there for a bit of a moment there. He might have just caught the truck towards the end of it. There's a 3-way paddle because there's Jeremy wanting to join this party at the moment for 42 Machine, gained a position. It's racing. It's Las Vegas, my friend. Well, gambling is this town. Gambling on a championship victory or not, these drivers are.
Yeah, and Drabick's actually really starting to flex some muscle right here early. Evans trying to run in that middle lane to be able to get the run off the corner, but you got to be careful up there in that middle side. You can really start to wear those tires out. But he's trying to pinch Drabick down, trying to see if he can hold him back as much as he possibly can. Drabick will get clear by inches, maybe not. You see it on your screen. Now he gets clear. Going to get a shove from Jeremy Gardner, and Gardner's going to go by Evans. Evans going all the way from the 1st spot all the way back to 3rd, and here comes Eddie Smith in that number 1 Tide truck, trying to see if he can jump up here and literally make it a 4-horse race between the championship 4.
Yeah, he needs to join that one at the moment because they're starting to pull away, as you can see. And if he doesn't, he's going to be catched by the pack behind him at the moment there of Jamie, Jake, and James. So here we go once again. Well, are they going to try to put Jeremy in the middle here? Patrick on the outside. Brandon hanging in, tucking in behind. They are dropping a little bit. Eddie needs to get the gas, the pedal to the metal there. Start catching this field. It's great racing. Those laps are going to tick over. 122 to go.
Yeah, I mean, these laps are going to tick by very, very quickly. And these guys basically going into turn 1 at 180 miles an hour. That is Jeremy Gardner. He has the lead. Evans trying to see if he can try to get it back. Evans gets a little bit of a run, slides up, tries to block Drabick. Drabick sends it going down on the bottom of the racetrack. And Evans will have to fall back and give way to Patrick Drabick. Hometown from Indianapolis, Indiana. Drabick's going to go to 2nd, and he may be even looking a little bit further, trying to get to Jeremy Gardner. These 3 really aggressive, showing a lot of aggressiveness here very early on in this championship race.
They have everything to win and everything to lose. It's all about being at the top, as you said. That's how you have to finish, to the top. Regardless of where you finish, as long as there's other drivers that are behind you in the championship hopes for the final 4. That's it right here. And they're going to give it. They are going to give it everything they got. Bango! There's Jake and... I don't hope... Is it Jake and Doug? No, it's not. I think it was James.
It was
into the
James.
fence. That's our first caution as well.
Yeah, it was James. James, he actually was all over the tailgate of Jake Ellingson right there. I mean, and he shoved him coming out of the corner, and then bam! I mean, hard contact right there with Jake Ellingson and James Goshen. Both drivers going straight into the fence, but Jake got the worst of it. Head on, you see the motor basically explode right there. I mean, oh my goodness, that is hard to watch right there, Dean. I mean,
Yes.
even on a sim, that's just a hellacious hit. Head on right there. And, I mean, it's got to make you flinch anyway, even though you're sitting in a sim rig, seeing that right there. It's got to make you flinch.
Well, and for Ray there as well, too, watching that one, isn't it? From Ray in the chat there. Of course, you're going to be sitting on the edge of your seat with that one. But the beauty of it, too, of such a small grid, should be able to get back into it with the 10 drivers. We expect the cautions to be out as much, but it gets good wheel banging. Door banging! That's what it is, as you said. There will be some door banging. I would not be surprised if Patrick here, Jeremy, and Brandon, at some point, even not with Eddie involved further back there, they're going to be sending each other into the fence there. They're going to be calling for Christmas to come early for some of these drivers or not, whether they'll be exchanging Christmas cards or not at the end of the year. That'll be it. Brandon's gone in to pit road. Now,
Yep,
is that too
Brandon is
early?
going in.
Why is that?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, maybe he burned his tires up just a little bit too much right there because, I mean, Evans may be sitting here thinking that obviously this field is not as big as they anticipated here this evening. So he's thinking that there's going to be a long green flag run. So even though they ran 9 laps, to be honest with you, Dean, this track is very abrasive on the tires. And, Dean, I know firsthand, to be honest with you, because, you know, a couple of Monday nights ago, these trucks, I mean, you got so much speed, but if you carry too much, if you're hung out on that top side, not able to get down, get out of the gas, and try to carry some momentum, you will eat your tires alive here. So I think Evans jumping down, go ahead, get 4 fresh tires, and try to get or I guess you could say an edge on these other 3 guys. I mean, I honestly, I could see why he's making that move. I mean, especially, you know, with like I said, I mean, there's only 10 trucks in the field, so, I mean, really, he's not screwing himself that bad right now making this call.
Yeah, I mean, it's early as well. There's 117 laps to go, so, yep, try a different strategy. We've seen before in the past, haven't we, how much even just a few handful of laps make a difference in the tires towards the end. I called it out, actually, I think a couple of times there going, you know, I mean, tires are king. And obviously, early stages, you can gain some places. Well, now Patrick, who has gained a place, has to hold off Jeremy, who has gained a place. And, of course, Eddie Smith has gained 3 because of that pit stop that you just saw before there from Brandon. But early days, of course, we're looking at those standings in the championship whilst we're under caution. And, of course, there it is. Jeremy, Brandon, Eddie, and Patrick. And they are right there, aren't they? Jeremy, Patrick, Eddie, and the only thing is Brandon, of course, taking an early pit stop. But it's early days of our racing. Low fuel dude, says Brandon out there, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was something that I was going to mention right there as well. I mean, with the fuel that they've got, they're trying to be able to try to make it on one stop as best that they possibly can. So, I mean, there's another call right there for fuel. So, I mean, there's so many strategies going into this race. Basically, I mean, Evans, he's basically racing 3 guys. Drabek's racing 3 guys. Garner, Smith, and, you know, on down the line. They're basically they're not worried about Kaufman. They're not worried about Doug Ellingson, all these other guys, Cody McElwain. They're not worried about them. They're worried about where the other 3 is. So Evans making a different move, I guess you could say, than the other 3 drivers. Going in, getting that little bit of extra fuel may pay dividends to him as the pace truck pulls off. Got Drabek and Garner on that front row. Here we go once again here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Drabek gets a fantastic jump on Jeremy Garner. Garner, he's going to be in a side-by-side battle with the Tide truck. Eddie Smith to his inside. Garner is going to slip back just a little bit, maybe jump down right in behind Eddie Smith. And here comes the momentum. Here comes that draft. Eddie Smith maybe looking for the lead as they hit turn 3.
He's thinking about it. He's going, oh, yeah. It's Viva Las Vegas. I was going to do an Elvis impersonation. Sorry, I'm not going to do that one. Eddie is going to do it on the track at the moment. He's forced up to the high line there, and everybody else goes down low. Brandon is up at a P6 in the background. You're going to see this one. So Patrick leading from Jeremy and Eddie. And then there's Jamie on the tailpipe as they're all bunched up after that caution. 114 to go. It's even fantastic to have a driver come into the chat, isn't it, during the caution and let us know about the situation of the fuel, which I was surprised are really underfueled very early in the race. Very, very early. We just wanted to just tap up the gas tank. Hey, isn't gasoline quite cheap at the moment anywhere in the States? So why not use it while it's cheap at the pump?
I don't know about that. I don't know about the fuel being cheap right here in North Georgia where I'm at. It's up to over getting around $3 a gallon. So we should be down just a little bit lower, maybe a little bit lower than $2 a gallon, making about $1.99, $1.80, somewhere in that range. We'll probably never see that again. But anyway, that's beside the fact right now. Drabik got a rear view mirror full of Jeremy Gardner, and Gardner's got a rear view mirror straight up full of the one truck of Eddie Smith. Everybody real content right now riding in this draft as here comes Jamie Barkis and even Cody McElwain. He's going to jump up here and make it a 5-horse race.
Yep, I'm just wondering if anybody's going to really want to get out to the front of the... Whilst you're all bunched up in a pack at the moment, it looks good. You can see all the drivers. And just a little bit in the background as Jake's shot to catch the pack. Of course, he had a severe damage that cost him 4 minutes and change in the pit road. Jake's hanging in there. But the rest of the pack here, just, eager, knowing there's a long race here, Jacob. They don't want to get too far down the road. But it's just whether or not they're going to start splitting the pack, start getting, losing the draft here.
I don't really think, honestly, the way everybody's kind of lined up right here, nobody's really jumping out of line except for one man right here. That's Jamie Barkis. He doesn't care at all about these championship 4. He wants to get up here. He wants to try to win him a race. Granted, it's lap 15 of 125, but still Barkis, he will jump up into the 3rd spot. Eddie Smith will be right behind him. So Barkis goes to 3rd. Eddie Smith's still sitting in 4th. And Gardner is putting all kinds of pressure on Patrick Drabik. Literally up his tailgate, almost tags him as they come off of turn 2.
Yeah, it's a little reminder to say, who wants it? Who wants a championship? 42 on the inside. There it is. That's with zoomed in camera to let you know if they're going to have any beef, if they're going to be door banging, as you'd like to say, my dear friend. Of course, trademark there to Jacob, door banging. We shall see. Is this also psychological games that these drivers are going to start playing with each other? Am I faster than you? No, I am faster than you. So, well, we have 17 laps at the moment to see who is faster than anybody. But Jeremy getting 3 positions is just on the little neck and neck there on Patrick, who's now stole the show there. Keep an eye out for Jamie, as I said. He wants to be a part of that party, even though he's not a part of the Championship 4.
Yeah, and that's one thing about the playoffs. That's one thing about this playoff, whether it be NASCAR or whether it be Goat Locker or hell, whether it be the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, where we're going to be at tomorrow night at Talladega. It doesn't really matter. I mean, in regular sports, Dean, they would have your playoff teams would be in the fight. They would be in that postseason. And that's just how it would be. It would dwindle down all the way to the end. Not in racing. Not in this type of racing right here. You got guys that ain't even in the playoffs, and they can be out here and play a factor in a championship race. That's the coolest thing about racing with this kind of format right here. And Barkis really trying to sneak up on these two guys. Both these guys, like I said, Drabik, Gardner, they're racing one another, not worried about Barkis. Barkis looked to the inside, did not make the pass, and he'll fall back in line as all that's going on in front of Eddie Smith. But Drabik still leads coming off of turn 4.
Brandon's currently at the back here. Just caught a little bit of traffic, of course, but he's got a little bit more gasoline in that 39 tank, so he's playing the longer game, maybe more of a strategic game here at the moment. So we'll see how it pans out at the moment. It's $2.48 for the gasoline in Milwaukee. Thank you for that. By the way, you all say about the gasoline prices, of course, in the United States, they're ridiculously expensive in Australia, and don't even think about Europe.
Well,
you don't even want to own a car in
$2.48
Europe.
up there.
You'll have to take out a small loan just to fill it up. Anyway.
Whew. Yeah, that's rough right there, especially having to take out a loan just to go ahead and fill up your truck or car or whatever you got. That's crazy right there dealing with that. But I'll tell you this, I mean, Trebek, he's dealing with all kinds of pressure right now. Gardner still tucked up on that tailgate. He's looked to the inside a couple of times, tried to see if he can make the pass, and then falls back in line. I'm thinking Gardner's just letting him know that, hey, I'm still here. Don't think you got it easy all the way to the bank at lap 125. You still got some contenders right here behind you. And Gardner all up in the tailgate. Marcus, he's actually slipped off just a little bit. But right now, it's looking like a 3-horse race. Eddie Smith, he's kind of slipped back just a little bit from these front 3 trucks.
And again, Eddie's just falling off those top 3 like before, but he realizes there's probably a chance down the fact that there could be a caution, especially the beef that'll be happening with these 2 drivers. As you get closer and closer to that green, 103 laps away from that green, it will go pretty quickly. So I do feel that the drivers, James Cosman's gone into pit road. That's interesting. I don't think there was an incident with him at all. Maybe you can clarify that one for the number 25 machine. But
we got a battle for the lead up here. Gardner able to slip past Trebek. So take Gardner, Jeremy Gardner, the regular season champion. He goes to the front here at Las Vegas. Trebek trying to see if he can muster something up. Maybe try to get a run right here on the front stretch. Looks to the outside, thinks different of it, jumps back in line. Gardner is clear, all clear, coming off of turn number 2. As Trebek trying to muster up some kind of momentum, some kind of draft. Maybe try to get around that 42, but he's going to tuck right back in line.
Yeah, if you've driven iRacing before, you have a spotter and it's go clear left, clear right, clear, clear, clear. That's what you want to be hearing as a driver, isn't it? You are clear. And he is clear of Patrick at the moment. And he's gained the 3 positions, of course, with Jeremy. Patrick's sitting in that P2 position where he started. It's not about where you start, but it is also about where you finish. And another thing, of course, Brandon still hovering in the background here. Remember, when looking at the 4 drivers battling it out there for the championship, the final 4. 3 of them, of course, are here, up the front. But the rest of the field is going to pan out.
I mean, and I think Evans right now, Evans is not really putting down a lot of throttle from what I'm seeing right here. I mean, Evans, obviously, we've seen how fast he can be. We've seen, the speed and everything out of that number 39 truck of what it can do anywhere, basically. But what he's doing right now is he's just using the draft off of the truck in front of him, which is Cody McElwain. In the 6s, you see Eddie Smith. He's going to slip past Jamie Barkus, right here for this 3rd spot. Barkus not wanting to give it up, though. Smith goes all the way down to the grass, trying to clear Barkus as much as he can, and this is straight up hurting Eddie Smith. As you see Gardner and Trebek, they are pulling away from Eddie Smith right now. Eddie's got to try to get clear of Jamie Barkus if he wants to try to get back up here, but Barkus is not going to let him have it. Still side by side as they go into turn 3.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this at the moment is going to help Brandon. It's just lurking in the background there, watching this battle. You can see the 2 up the front there, still line astern. We're throwing a spatter in the mix. We're talking about teammates as well, too, that somebody mentioned, as helping a teammate is going to be crucial in this situation. I think the other drivers are definitely going to come and play. Yeah, look at that. Brandon's lurking onto the background there. I think they also realize at the moment they don't want to get Jeremy and Patrick get too far up the road at all.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, you really don't want the leaders, especially with Gardner and Trebek. I mean, Trebek basically just right in the draft right there with Gardner. There's a lot of side draft going on with Eddie Smith and Barkus. That's what just basically just halted this line of 4 trucks right here. Now Cody McElwain takes a look to the inside of the 6. Here comes Evans. Evans going to fight hard on the top side. Evans back there saving fuel, trying to make it a one-stop race right here probably. But here he goes to the top side. He is clear of Cody McElwain. He'll set his sights now on Jamie Barkus.
There you go, 1 down and a bunch more to go. In fact, 4 and change. Because he's realizing that urgency, of course. If you go green all the way at this one, look at those 2 drivers up the road. Look at Jeremy and Patrick. That's not what you want to be seeing as a race driver. You don't want to see them that far up there because you realize lap by lap by lap, that gap is increasing and increasing and increasing. And of course, he's got to see the way he was fighting that machine. in that dirty air, really. He was fighting it like mad. Look at that. He's working the steering wheel. Now it starts to smooth out a little bit, tucks in behind, and there you go. You're getting a nice slipstream. You can see a little bit of wiggle at the moment there from Jamie's machine. But when you get to that side drafting, isn't that a whole different ball game as a racing driver?
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, and it's like I said earlier, you're with the momentum and with the drafting that you can get here at Vegas. Yeah, it definitely I mean, it will take a toll on a driver, to take a toll on any car, truck, whatever you're driving here at Vegas. It will take its toll right now. But right now, the class of the field right now is Gardner and Trebek. Eddie Smith trying to lead this 4-truck train right here to try to jump back up there. Wow, Gardner actually blinked out for just a quick second, but back now. And probably, I'm telling you, Trebek's eyes might have popped out of his head just a little bit, seeing Gardner blink right there. He may have had to back away, not sure exactly where he was at. But Trebek really trying to hold on to this draft, trying to hold on to the regular season champion. That is Jeremy Gardner.
Let's just look at that. Powered by Nitro. You're going to need to be powered by inspiration and spirit there for Jeremy. He's got Patrick at the moment. They're putting the huge amount of pressure on. That's what you want to be doing. You want the driver up the road there to be driving in their mirrors. Take the focus away. And they are taking the gap away, of course, once again from Eddie Smith. There they are, back there. Eddie's actually starting to break that little gap there of Jamie and Brandon. So it's going to be interesting. We do have a couple other cars at the moment. There's Dougie out at the moment. There's James and there's Jake. So they may come into play if we start getting into lap cars, but although I don't think they're going to be wanting to get too much of this beef that's involved in this championship 4. Once again, to remind everybody, if you are tuning in at the moment, there it is. Jeremy, Brandon, Eddie, and Patrick. And they are there at the moment. Jeremy, Patrick, and Eddie are 1, 2, and 3. Brandon's now P5. So starting to catch that feel after taking the pit stop.
Yep,
early.
and he basically, and he basically went down, like I said, trying to go down, trying to see if he can make it maybe a one-stop race. Not have to worry about jumping down and going getting any fuel. Like he said in the chat, that's basically what he's aiming for right now. And, I mean, it's tough to do here at Vegas. It really is in the trucks because there's so much on-throttle time that you're having to be able to try to stay with everybody. So you got to be able to try to manage your fuel, manage your tires. You're managing all kinds of crazy stuff right there, Dean. But, I mean, if anybody can do it, Brandon would be one of them. Gardner would probably be one of them, as well as it. I mean, hell, we'll throw Trebek and Eddie Smith, all 4 of them. They could be able to do that of what, Brandon's doing right now. But Brandon was the first one to make that move.
And what about tires? How are they going to come into play as you get deeper into this? 90 to go still.
It depends on how hard you're running the truck. I mean, you see Gardner and Trebek up here. I mean, they are just lightning fast right now. But really, right now, I mean, Evans is not too far off. Eddie Smith, they're not too far off of the times. I mean, Gardner, last lap, he ran a 31.5 to Eddie Smith's 31.4. So everybody's kind of stalled out, I guess you could say, right now. But those tires, I mean, I'm telling you, obviously from what we saw in qualifying, take Jeremy Gardner. I mean, he started 4th and he ran a 30.7. Evans, obviously the only driver in the field to run a 30.6. Now they're all the way down to 31.5. So literally dropping off right about a second, actually right at a second right now is what the field's dropped off to. That's what the tires will do here at Vegas, because if you go into turn 1, you got to be very careful when you're on the bottom of the racetrack, because when you get down, especially going into 1, there is a dip, a bump, or what have you. When you go into that corner, it basically just feels like the whole truck just bottoms out. And it will make your truck go tight. It can make it go loose. It can make it go 100 different directions, especially right here where these drivers are going through. You see how bumpy it is right there riding on board with Trebek. It is a handful right there through 1 and 2. So tires will come into play, but like Brandon was saying, the fuel will come into play more than the tires will.
I was about to say, because I was looking at it before, you can actually feel the bumps up here in the broadcast trailer of what's happening as we're riding aboard, of course, with Patrick. And yeah, you can see the car's bouncing around there. It's porpoising, as you say in Formula One. Luckily, there's not going to be any drain pipes, is it water drain pipes or whatever, that's going to flick off of Las Vegas Boulevard and cause a delay of a race, of course, to the Formula One that happened in Vegas here just a couple of weeks ago. But this is a purpose-built oval track that's away from the strip, the Boulevard of Las Vegas. So Patrick's starting to drop a little bit away there from Jeremy. There's gaps starting to form at the moment. So does this mean when gaps start to form there, Jacob, that you can start managing your car a little bit? Look at that. See, on the inside, there's those bumps that you were mentioning. Look at that. It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. Basically like a wooden roller coaster, not a steel roller coaster. And anybody that's been on a wooden roller coaster knows them suckers will beat you half to death. And that's basically what the ride, basically, you called it right there, Dean, what that ride is going into turn one. But back to your point about managing the gap. That's what I think, these guys right now, everything's starting to get spread out. Everything's kind of settled down right now. That's what everybody's doing right now, just trying to manage their stuff, manage tires, manage fuel for that matter. Everybody's managing everything that they can right now to be able to try to make it as long as they can here on this fuel run and try to make it a one-stop race.
You're going through the field at the moment. There's your P6 positioning of Cody. There is James. There's traffic coming through in play as well, too. That's why you see some of those other cars in there. Like, where are they at the moment? They're lap trucks is the word we're looking for. Right there. There's the 25 machine of James. Now, he's actually bugging out with Patrick here. So, yeah, you don't have to yield at the moment. The 25 machine. Patrick's got up the inside. 25, of course, is James, who was a lap down. Oh, and there's Patrick going in.
Patrick going into the pits. This is scheduled
Jamie.
Green flag pit stops right here. Jamie Barkus going in as well as Cody McElwain. Like I said, these are scheduled pit stops. So these guys, I mean, it's like I said about the fuel. These guys going in. Now, obviously, they're going to go in and fill it up. So obviously, they're going to take 4 fresh tires. All of these guys will right here. Oh. Maybe even take 2 tires. I'm not real sure why you would take 2 tires here at Vegas. We'll watch Drbick right here. Looks like he gets one side down. Looks like he's still in there. So, yep, left side's going on for Patrick Drbick. 4 fresh tires full of fuel. 07 gets away cleanly in his box. And one thing I do want to mention, Dean, with these guys, all the speed that these drivers are having, pit road speed limit, 50 miles an hour. Like I said, they was doing 180 going into turn 1 not too long ago. Yeah. They got to be able to get it woed down coming out of turn 4. Get it down to that 50 mile per hour mark.
And look at James unlapping himself. That's James, the number 25 machine, in front of our race leader, of course, of Jeremy. They might be a little bit frustrated at the moment about James, but James, of course, he's gone in there. He's got some gas. His tires are a little bit fresher, so that's the reason why he's got the pace. I mean, you're talking about a driver in P9 currently at the moment, not even in this Fast 4 championship, but going quicker than Jeremy Gardner. So Jeremy at this point is going to be saying, is this frustration creeping in? Is it costing him time? He knows on the radio that Patrick has gone in. So if Patrick comes back out, of course, and starts laying down some fantastic laps there, that's going to cost him. James is heading into pit road at the moment. Make it stick there, as you said, to the speed limit. You see him lock up heavily. You know that they've gone a little bit too hot into the zone. Patrick's all the way back here by himself, of course, so he has no draft. He has to make it work. And Jeremy, what do you think about this as a race driver? Is he getting a little frustrated, do you think, about 25 machine that is illegally allowed to be there, as James is? There it is. That's the reason why he's called it. He said maybe. And he's going to follow him in. And James is still in the pit road, actually, for some time now, actually. Let's see, but more importantly, how's this panned out? Brandon stayed out. Where's Patrick? Here he is. Can he get ahead of Jeremy is going to be the key, isn't it?
Well, man, he's putting down some fast laps. I mean, he wasn't that far back from Jeremy Gardner when he decided to go ahead, duck down, get those 4 fresh tires, fill it all the way up. So Drbick, really, he's putting down some laps right now. Last lap was a 30.8. We'll see how everything goes right here. Drbick just now coming off of turn number 4. Here comes Smith. Here comes Gardner out of the pits.
It's got him.
Patrick Trebek's going to slide right by him.
Wow.
So Patrick Trebek going in early is going to get a huge lead right here on Gardner and Eddie Smith. But like you said just a second ago, Patrick has absolutely no draft. So he's not able to jump in the draft, be able to suck up to anybody, and try to save any of that precious fuel that every single one of these drivers are trying to make it to.
Biggest benefit for this one's to Cody. Look at Cody. 6 positions gained here. Not on the championship hunt. But further back, there's a little bit of beef at the moment there. There's Jamie and Jeremy. So that situation, those pit stops, has put them out side by side. Brandon Evans, remember, stayed out longer because he could. He took that early pit stop on lap 8. We're on lap 50 right now. So he's going to stretch it a little bit further. Let's see the lap times. Keep an eye on those lap times for me, my friend, and see whether or not those more important, crucial laps that he can make the jump on Patrick, who currently is in the lead of this race, barring pit stops. But I don't think Brandon can go to the end, can he? There's no way.
Absolutely not. No. He's going to have to make another pit stop, at least one more, to be able to go down and get those 4 freshies, go ahead and fill it as full as that truck will take it right now. And Trebek now, I mean, that last lap he ran a 31 flat to Evans 31.8. So basically Trebek, now it's flip-flopped. I mean, you know, it's like I said earlier, you know, they qualified with like 30.6 is what Evans ran. Trebek ran a 30.7. And the times have basically fell off a whole second. Well, now it's kind of flip-flopped. So now Trebek's running basically right at qualifying times to Evans, and basically it's 1 second. That's what it is right there.
We're right above Jeremy, who just set the fastest lap right now in the last lap, a 30.46. Brandon's a 31.8. Do the math on that one. And at the moment, you can see the pace that Jeremy has, but of course, it's one thing to catch cars, it's another thing to get past them. As he's battling it out with Cody and Eddie here. Are they all running for track position? Of course, they made their pit stops. That's one perhaps that Jeremy could switch by. Another one he wants to get by, of course, is Eddie. If you're on that pace too, you're like, hello, I just do not want to lose that speed that I have because it's working.
Yeah, I mean, it is working. And another thing that is working in Patrick Trebek's favor is Patrick Trebek just unlapped himself, just got around Brandon Evans. So these 3 drivers right here, they are closing in now on Brandon Evans. Smith leading this group with Gardner right behind him. Got Cody McElwain there in the 6. Everybody, basically all 3 of them in line, and they are catching Brandon Evans, obviously, because on the older shoes is Evans. Now dumps it down to the bottom. Brandon Evans going into the pits.
Oh,
he gets sideways going in.
Oh, that's going to cost you a ton of time when you're looking at the time is not on your side here. Because we're approaching, almost getting close to halfway through this. We've got 72 to go. That's going to be painful, isn't it, as a driver? Because you know your championship hopes are here right now. And he took that call there, is on the alternative strategy. So no doubt, I think that's cost him enough that Patrick and Eddie and Jeremy are going to be able to... It's just sliding on by, but of course, what goes around comes around, because we know later on, Brennan's going to have a different strategy, different boots, different fuel. And he's just going to make up for that loss of time. What do you think it's cost him? Like, at least, what, 3, 4, 5 seconds, maybe? That mistake?
I would say so. I mean, he basically slid right through it. Like I said, I mean, he slid for a good margin right there, but was able to get the truck controlled and be able to get it lined back up and get it back out there. But Evans just now pulling off of turn number 2. So Evans trying to get away. Trebek obviously has made the pass. He has the lead. And Gardner, now he's working with Eddie Smith. Both these guys now trying to see if they can run down Patrick Trebek, who, like I said, has no draft. He's all by himself right now at the front. Ran a 31.2 to Eddie Smith, and Gardner's 31.8 and 9, or 38, or 30.8 and 30.9. That's what these guys are doing. So obviously they are catching Patrick Trebek, and it's all because of the draft.
Yeah, I think at the moment, this is where you become, this is what I do love about oval racing that never happens in road racing. Drivers don't work together too often in road racing. But in oval racing, you need to start working together because that draft is more important. And Eddie knows it, and Jeremy knows it. Of course, they're in the championship hopes here. They know there's one person that they want to catch, and that's Patrick up the road. And the only way they can do it, of course, is by working together. Now, of course, that beef is going to be outside the door when you come down to the last 10 to go or so. But for now, they realize we have to do it. Let's do it together. And then once we start catching Patrick, then it's all even Stevens again. We'll go back at it. We'll go racing. And there's no more allies when it comes to the racing wars of the Goat Locker Truck Series, because there's no wars. It's all about the fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a guy that said that in an official race. We're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun. And he was saying that after the 5th straight caution in, I'd say, about 15 laps in the official race that I was in. That was a couple of months ago when that happened, Dean. I mean, that's what he kept saying. We're having fun. This is fun. It's not fun when you're riding around cautions, 5 cautions in a span of 15 laps. It's not fun at all. It'll piss you off. I guarantee you that.
Gotcha.
But there you go. Appreciate that. But anyway, I mean, but you see Eddie Smith right now, Gardner, both of them still trying to work the draft. Cody McElwain just trying to hold on to what draft he possibly can. And Brandon Evans back there, you saw him with that slide going into the pits, 14 seconds back from Patrick Trebek right now. And he's currently running very, very fast lap times, obviously on fresher shoes than the other 3 drivers. So, I mean, it's a game changer. I mean, it was a game changer when he went into the pits. He may have, like you said, basically threw his championship hopes away, but it's not over yet. We're just right at the point of the halfway mark right here, folks. So anything can and still and probably will happen here with the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series for the Championship 4 here tonight. And Trebek trying to hold on to this lead as much as he can, but Eddie Smith and Gardner using the draft, they're reeling him in.
And wait, I did not say that he was throwing his championship hopes away on that one. Where are you getting that from? That was, by the way, it wasn't a late beep. That beep was right on time. It's just it was the delayed reaction there from the thing. Now you think, Chris?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say. I thought it's fantastic. He's taken the alternative strategy here. It's either going to pay off dividends here in Las Vegas. He's going to get a jackpot out of the slot machine, or he's going to be like, damn it, I fold. It's not going to work if he's playing poker, of course. But you never know. But I do like to see somebody taking an alternative strategy and seeing it's going to pan out, because otherwise you're going to be up here with the likes of everybody else, just on the same situation as the race pace, which you're going to get towards the end, hopefully, of course, when he does join this pack. And hey, at the end of the day, he might be the one laughing, isn't he? Going, haha, it did pay off. We'll see. Patrick's way up the road there at lap times as you come back to that situation. Brandon's lap times are, well, in the last laps or so, yep. I mean, he's not really that much drastically quicker. But we saw this before, didn't we, Jacob? He nurses his tires. He takes care of them. He says, hello. Takes him out to a nice dinner there, buys him some flowers, things like that. Because, at the end of the day, if you treat a lovely lady, a.k.a. your tires, your car, of course, granted well, then at the end of the day, you'll be rewarded at the end. And you won't be sleeping on the sofa.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time that we've actually seen Brandon Evans make this strategy call. Think back to last week. It was at Darlington. He done a complete different strategy. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out for him to be able to make it. I mean, he ran out of fuel coming off of turn 4 and ended up losing a podium finish at that point. So, I mean, Brandon Evans is one of those guys that he will take chances to try to get what he can get to try to win a race. I've seen it numerous times in officials. And it's like I've said before. I mean, he's my teammate with McConey Setup Shop in official races. He will take chances. He will do anything he can. He will do everything he can to try to win a race. And that's exactly what you're going to end up having to do right here at Vegas. You're going to have to end up trying to win the race. And that's what Evans tried to do. I mean, he's doing everything that, like I said earlier, I counted him out. I probably shouldn't have. Like I said, still got a long ways to go right now. Anything can happen. But he is putting down some heaters right now compared to the rest of the field. He is running these guys down. Believe it or not, he's already cut it down. I mean, he was 13.5 seconds just a while ago. Now he's got it down to 12.8.
He stepped it up. His top speed 186 on that one, and some of the other drivers aren't quite pulling that one. And as Robert says out there, we got some beef in the commentary there, my friend there, Jacob. We are, well, there you go. We do have some beef. We've got some beef on track at the moment. We have a lap truck on track on top of this one. There's a battle between Jeremy and Eddie is still right there right now with the other trucks there. Patrick's still up the road quite a bit. Where's Eddie there? In fact, they are hunting down Patrick at a big time scale. I didn't realize. As Patrick got caught up in that traffic there, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's right smack dab in the middle of a lap truck, and that is Doug Ellingson. He's going to go to the top side, give way to the drivers right here, give way to Eddie Smith and Gardner, and Smith's going to try to jump down to the bottom. He's going to try to carry that draft, but I think, honestly, Dean, what it was right there, why both these drivers ran down Patrick Trebek. It's like I said, Gardner was straight up his tailgate. I mean, damn near shoving him around the track. He wasn't actually touching him, but he was using all the draft that he could as Doug comes down the track, almost takes out Gardner.
Dougie.
But now Doug slips back just a little bit, and here comes Eddie Smith. He's going to look down to the inside. Trebek's going to get stuck on the top now. Who will Jeremy Gardner go with as Smith goes for the lead here at Vegas?
Yeah, you called it, actually. I completely forgot about the fact that they were working together, of course, to hunt down Patrick, which is, sorry, for Jeremy, this worked out brilliantly because now Patrick's in the lead there from Eddie and Jeremy, but then again, now Jeremy has a couple of cars to hang on to, so he can continue this fight with them and not be all alone on the track, and it will continue to be this three-way fight. Brandon's still in P6 down the road, but we know Brandon was putting in some absolute flyers, so don't count him out just yet. We are just on over halfway, 56 to go. Well, do not look away. The top four, we have three of them currently in your picture in that top four championship hunt.
Trebek able to get clear Smith. I mean, he took a shot down on the bottom, tried to see if he could make it stick. But Trebek using the momentum in the middle lane to be able to slide right by Eddie Smith. They didn't even have to use any draft from Jeremy Gardner, just basically made it work. Now Smith may be thinking differently. He tries to jump up to the top. Trebek jumps up and makes the block. All of it going on right in front of Jeremy Gardner as Gardner is trying to slip up here. And check out Doug Ellingson right here. Granted, Doug is 2 laps down, but he could play a factor into who ends up winning this championship. He could end up going with one of these guys and end up shoving them past the other two and end up giving the win to another driver. Smith's going to jump to the top now. Trebek stuck down on the bottom. Here comes Gardner. Gardner's going to come up and give Trebek just a little shot. But now Eddie Smith, he's going to try to run this top side. Trebek slides up the racetrack, almost gets into his door. Side by side, hard, tight racing as they come off turn 4. Smith will lead this lap and may end up getting clear as they come out as they go into the turn 1.
Yeah, we're actually riding aboard with Doug at the moment. That race probably going to be very, very fantastic to see that one. And Ray can let us know out there whether Doug is going to be involved in this battle for the championship towards the end there for the final 4, the top 4 for the final race here at the fantastic Goat Locker Racing Series presented by Jam Printing and Promotions. In Viva Las Vegas, baby! Eddie Smith, Patrick, and Jeremy, your top 3.
And I'm telling you, Brandon Evans may have the best seat in the house right now because he's not up here in the middle of all this hell that's going on right here with Smith, Trebek, and Gardner. Gardner jumps up to the top side, saw what Eddie Smith did just a second ago. Now he's going to jump up here. He's going to get a little draft from Eddie Smith. Side by side for a second with Trebek on the bottom, Gardner up top. And watch Trebek slides up the track ever so slightly, has to get out of the gas. Now Jeremy Gardner, he will go to second. Eddie Smith in the tide truck still leads here at Vegas. Right at 50 laps to go, folks. It's anybody's race at this point. Who is going to win the championship for the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series? 50 laps to go.
We'll find out after the short commercial break. Do not go anywhere. No, you won't. There's not going to be a short commercial break. It's too much excitement at the moment. It is not regular television, but it is the Goat Lock Series that are presented by the NASRA 360 network. You're going to go around and around, of course, 360 degrees. And at some point, well, with 50 laps to go, somebody wants to see the flag man, Mr. Barney, first. As I said, don't take it out. There's Brandon. But he's by himself. That's the biggest problem, isn't it? That is the biggest problem with Brandon. You can put those banker laps in as much as possible, but all you're doing is burning through the tires and burning through the gas. He needs a little help out there, gentlemen. You know, sharing is caring. He needs somebody to help him. Jeremy has somebody to help him at the moment. It's called Eddie Smith, and Patrick's dropping back just a tad.
Yeah, Drabek, I mean, I think he may have ended up burning his tires up trying to see if he could get away from Smith and Gardner, but Gardner and Smith used the draft, like I said, and basically sucked right up to him and shot around him. And, you know, don't count out Brandon, because Brandon can run longer than both of these drivers right here. They can, or actually all three of them. He can run longer than Eddie Smith, Gardner, and Patrick Drabek. But check out Gardner right now, just very content, excuse me, riding in that second spot. And Eddie Smith still holds on to the lead. And you mentioned it about Drabek sliding back just a little bit. It's like I said, I think he just burned them up right there, trying to just stay in front as much as he can. And Smith gets loose off of two, almost lost the truck. That's all Jeremy Gardner needed. Gardner jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. Gardner's going to slip away, may end up getting the lead. He's going to slide up the racetrack. Smith stuck up on the top side by side battle, dead even heat, going to the line. Smith will get that lap. But holy hell, Smith almost lost it coming off of turn two, hit one of those bumps, and slipped right up the racetrack.
You wanted some door banging out there. You may very well get it, my friend. It's good, fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing as we are in Las Vegas, of course, for the finale here this evening at the Goat Locker Racing Series. And look at this. I'm loving it. Riding on board with Patrick. He's sitting there hanging in here at the moment. They're hanging literally onto his steering wheel. We can see him not fighting as much of it. It seems pretty smooth operator, that one. Jeremy's now tucked in behind Eddie Smith there as they went door banging side by side. Almost could have turned into a caution, which we've only had one. There's another little bit of beef going on between Cody and Jamie for P4 and P5. Brandon's still about 5 seconds to change down the road from them. So perhaps, as you said, don't count him out just yet. 46 laps to go. But at some point soon, you would have to say, in these other pit stops, if they do occur, come into play, he's going to have to either rethink a strategy, do something different. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, honestly. I mean, everybody really is going to have to make an extra pit stop. I mean, I looked at, you know, the stats and all the stuff that I've got, and I mean, you know, just sitting there, just sitting in their pit box, they can make it 47.4. So I'd say around 45 laps on a tank of fuel. That's by my calculations. Now, granted, like I said, folks, I got that Georgia math, so it could be way wrong as far as that goes. But I'm telling you, Smith's still trying to hold on right now. And Gardner, like we said a while ago, he's using the draft right now. He's back there just laying off of that gas pedal as much as he can, trying to save as much fuel as he can. As you see Jamie Barkus back here, he just got around Cody McElwain, so that's for fourth.
Yeah, he's been working on that one for some time, actually.
Yeah.
And she got it done.
Got good battles all the way around the racetrack.
That just depends how that comes into Brandon's here, remember. So we're looking at 4 championship contenders. Once again, I'll show that information up on your screen. Brandon's back in P6 on the alternative strategy at the moment, as you can hear somebody revving up their engines in the background next to the commentary trailer. Eddie Smith, Jeremy, and Patrick are all battling it out in the top 3. Whether or not these other drivers and cars will come into play will be another indication and key. But Eddie is not too bad. He seems to be okay with the tide machine. He's happy to spin dry himself up to the lead of this race at the moment.
I mean, yeah, spin dry. Yeah, basically you called that right there. That's good, man. I like that right there, honestly. I like that. Spin dry all the way up there. And Gardner trying to use some of that nitro as much as he can to try to get up here and halt the Tide truck from the lead. But like I said, Gardner back here, like I said, lifting out of that gas, letting the draft, letting the air carry him around the racetrack. As here we go, Patrick Drabek.
Anybody gonna follow it? They are.
Yep, looks like Jamie Barkus, Cody McElwain going in, and Drabek did pit earlier than the rest of the field that first time around, so keep in mind on that. But right here, you do not want to slide these tires right now. You don't want to slide through your pit box right here, just like Drabek did right there. Yeah. Oh, backed up just a smudge right there, but still, just that little bit it can be costly.
I would say, I mean, I've seen this before. In doesn't matter if it's in iRacing and ovals or road races. Eddie goes in as well too. Eddie's just gone in right now for the tide machine. Let's see whether or not you put enough detergent into the pit road there. Oh, not too much detergent on your tires, my friend. You don't want to be sliding as well. Put the tide machine. Don't bounce it. Let's see. It's crucial, and this is one thing I'd mentioned this in road races as well that I've seen lost in there. That's not bad. You'd have to say that's not bad. So you probably hit the markers quite well. They have a little lollipop there. Jeremy's now in. So they've all elected to go essentially a lap after each other, haven't they?
They absolutely have. And this right here opens the door for Brandon Evans, which Evans will run longer than the rest of these guys. And he'll be on fresher tires, obviously, than the rest of the guys that are coming out right now because he will have went longer. But, I mean, Evans, he's going to try to, I mean, he's going to ride this out. I mean, this is all that he's got right here. He's got to ride it out.
Did Eddie spin? I think he might have. I think he got a good call out there. Yes, he did. No, yes, he.
Oh, wow.
Half spin. There you go. Good call out there, Ray. Good catch. Thank you for that. That's going to be big time hurting his championship hopes at the moment because we're getting down to the dying more stages. That's probably the last time they're going to be visiting pit road as well, too, isn't it?
It should be the last time that they visit pit road. They should be able to make it on fuel all the way to the end. Should be able to make it on tires as well. You see Evans right here.
There's Evans,
trying
there's
to
Patrick,
get around Gardner.
And Gardner right there. And Eddie's back because of that. So Eddie may have, that little mistake might have cost him the champ. Like, we would love to see a nice four-way battle here, but we couldn't get a 3 instead. Remember, Brennan, can Brennan go to the end on this one? I don't know. Look at that. He's just kind of allowing him to go through there, but has he saved enough? That'll be interesting. There's Brandon there, of course, you saw.
I'm telling you honestly, Dean, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't know if he can make it. I really don't know if he can make it. I don't think he can make it. I think when he slid the way he did, basically what Eddie Smith did, sliding, going through the corner, or trying to go into the pits, I think that basically kind of killed his race right
Eddie's
there.
Gonna get around
and it may have ended up killing Eddie right here as Eddie's trying to get around Jamie Barkis. Eddie trying to fight back for every little bit that he can. And keep in mind, folks, I mean, should a caution come out right now, Cody McElwain, who's in the 6 truck, right smack dab in front of Barkis and Eddie Smith, he is in the lucky dog spot. So if a caution comes out, I mean, there you go. I mean, I think that's what Eddie Smith, I mean, Eddie trying to get up here, trying to get to Trebek and Gardner is, wow, hard racing. I mean, Barkis is not letting Eddie Smith go.
It does not need to let Eddie Smith, I mean, even though there is a championship, of course, there. Eddie may be going, hello, sir, I'm trying to battle it out with these other 3 gentlemen here for the championship. But then Barkis is going, hello, I'm still a race car out here. I'm still trying to prove myself for the next season here for the Goat Locker Racing. And it's good. And it's going to be frustrating big time because Eddie Smith put some banker laps in, the fastest lap he actually did just a lap and change ago. And look at the traffic he has to deal with at the moment. And more than anything, just up the road, of course, is the very man he needs to get past, of course, is Brandon Evans is a lap down and struggling big time.
Yeah, Evans going to get stuck straight in the middle, 3 wide. Barkis is going to take a shot down on the bottom. Evans is going to get freight trained by all 3 of these drivers. Hellacious moment right there for Brandon Evans, but everybody able to get by and get cleanly by. So all 3 of those trucks will be back on the lead lap. That be it Eddie Smith, Jamie Barkis, and Cody McElwain. As Trebek still by himself. Gardner is actually right up his tailgate. This could be the fight for the championship up here with Trebek and Jeremy Gardner, both of them basically running nose to tail.
Yeah, sorry about that one. And Brandon's not a lap down. He's actually still leading this race, but obviously at the pace that he has at the moment there, look at that. They're going to see him. They are seeing him. You could see him just in your pictures at the moment. There's Jeremy, there's Patrick. And if you look at that little dot in the distance, that's Brandon. And they're approaching at Brandon at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I mean, they are digging as much as they possibly can. That's actually James Goshen right there coming off of that corner right there. Good call, though. Yeah, good call. I mean, same manufacturer, but I mean, they're running down Goshen, who is 1 lap down. So lap traffic could play a factor in this race right here. Obviously, right here at the 30 lap to go mark, Drabik trying to hold on as much as he can. And obviously got them teammates out there. Got Marcus and McElwain and Jake Ellingson, all of them teammates together right there with Drabik. So, I mean, you know, maybe get some teammates to probably jump in there and maybe help him out, but they're going to have to figure something out quick. Here comes Gardner, takes a shot, looks up to the top, not able to do it. Drabik slams the door and blocks him. So Gardner's going to have to figure out another way to try to get around him. But remember, Gardner on the fresher tires than Drabik, only by 1 lap, but still fresher tires.
Yeah, one lap could make all the difference, especially how inseparable these drivers have been all season, considering the pace has always been almost matched. Doug's back into pit road at the moment. They're signing some autographs to his fans at there. Hello, Doug. And the number 58 machine there, a little, making sure there was any damage on the side of that car there. You still have a bit of battle here. Eddie is still struggling with all these other cars around him because Eddie's still thinking about his championship hopes. And he needs to clear Jamie, and he needs to clear Cody, which he did. So he can get up the road there, catch this man, Jeremy, and Patrick, who are going side by side. You want beef, you want door banging. 29 to go.
I mean, Drabik all by himself on the top, and Jeremy Gardner is going to be able to sneak by. Maybe not by much, as here comes Drabik. Fights back hard on the top side. Tried to get a little side draft on that right rear quarter panel. Drabik's going to try to pinch him down on this white line. Gardner able to get clear, but just for a second, will he jump up and try to make the block? Now Drabik, he's going to take it all the way down to the white line. Drabik down to the bottom, Gardner up top. Patrick Drabik pulling the slider, if you will, to jump back in front of Jeremy Gardner. Patrick Drabik back to the lead.
And another thing I noticed as well, too, they're door banging here. This is actually, if anything, Eddie needs these crew around him to help him push his way up there. Because there is Eddie, and there is the other crew. So if they can help Eddie push Eddie into this situation, into this battle, there's Eddie in the background. So as long as they can stick with Eddie, that'll help him bring himself up into the chances of Patrick and Jeremy, who are definitely eager to look out for each other right now with 27 to go. But as you know, you get down to about 15 and change to go, my friend. That's when all friendships are out the door there.
Yeah, I mean, friendships are out the door at that point. I mean, you got to go with what your gut instinct is. You got to go with what your talent is right now. And Gardner trying to go with what talent he can, as he's going to get right up on the back bumper. Shove Drabik going into turn 3. And you see Eddie Smith, Barkus, and McElwain way back there in the background. You can barely see them, but they are starting to make a little charge right here to try to jump back up here. So obviously Drabik and Gardner are fighting it out for the championship, but in the distance, Eddie Smith and company only 2 seconds back from the leaders.
Brandon's in.
You see Brandon Evans. Evans going into the pits now.
Yeah, and I don't think Brandon had enough lead to cover this one off. I don't quite sure how far up the track there is for that one. Brandon has to hit his marker. Get in there, my friend. Hit the lollipop person. You can't see that little lock up there. Can't make any mistakes right now. You have to be absolutely spot on, perfect. Taking tires. There they are. They're going to cruise on by. That's going to drop Brandon back to P6 at least, if not further. With 25 to go, that's a lot of work to do, but we do know the man has some pace and some serious pace. Eddie in the background there, slowly, needs to keep with this. He needs his teammates, or at least his friends, to give him a push, give him a bit of boost and motivation out there. Eddie and Grosjean are teammates out there that we heard, so perhaps that'll help out. And James, there in the 85 machine. Good, you need it right now. Because in the championship top 4 with 24 to go, every little bit helps. Even the fans out there, shout out for who you would want to win this race there. Perhaps I can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can hear both of us, especially as loud as I am sometimes. That's my wife. But anyway, I mean, and that is something that we really need to take a factor in right there, is James Goshen. He is teammates with Eddie Smith, and Goshen, who has won a race this season. Let's not shy away from the fact Goshen did win a race this season, and he was able to make the playoffs. So Goshen may get up here.
And look at that. Yeah. The leaders are coming up to him right now.
Yeah, this might get really crazy right here. Goshen might get smack dab in front. of Gardner and Trebek and try to slow them down. Try to help Eddie Smith jump up here and snag this bad boy right here. I'm telling you, I mean, this is what we love to see right here. 20 laps to go. Nobody knows who's going to win this sucker. That's why that this playoff format is as awesome as it is right here, Dean. You have no idea who's going to win the championship right now.
Well, I do. I already watched the race earlier. This is a replay. No, yeah, of course not. No, this is absolutely live. Yeah, if you could do anything, remember a lap truck doesn't have to necessarily get out of the way there, but, there's also like gentleman's rules, of course, in there. So we'll see how it works out because they're looking at, of course, for Eddie down the road here. And there's Eddie. So Eddie's still getting a bit of a tow, of course, from Jamie and Cody in the background there. I just have to say, Brendan Evans, I'm not quite sure if that's road's going to pan off, my friend. 21 to go. He's seen some serious pace. Probably, if anything, he needs a caution.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Dean, me and you, we've seen crazier stuff happen on iRacing, to be honest with you. We've seen some crazy stuff, and we've seen it where just cautions just come out of absolutely nowhere. Just somebody spins coming off a corner, sitting right smack dab in the middle of the track. Something that you never see. It happens, and it's very possible that it can happen right here smack dab in the middle of this race. It could end up that Goshen ends up trying to block Trebek and Gardner and end up causing a caution, end up causing a wreck. Anything's possible at this point right here. Only time will tell as they hit the line right here. 19 laps to go. Trebek still holding on to the lead. Gardner within striking distance.
I think you're talking about that. I think I was featured in about 5, 6, not 10 monthly, not 10 top 10 highlights in iRacing, as well as a few top 10 highlights in the past. So, yes, anything can happen, can and will happen. And just look at those top 10 highlights in iRacing because you've seen big pile-ups, big crashes in the dying stages of the race. This is it to go for it. Patrick now starting to pull a little bit of a gap, but then, once again, he's going to be up the road there. For the very man that could throw a spatter at the mix on this one. What's the gap to Eddie? A little bit down the road there. Eddie, 2 seconds and change? Brandon Evans, as I said, 14 seconds and change away from our race leader. Needs something to happen. 18 to go now. This is crunch time. Jeremy in P2, if you want to make a move on Patrick. Probably, when do you think the last dying chances he would start going for it? 10 to go, 5 to go, 8 to go? Sorry, 8, 7, 5.
Well, honestly, I think what he's trying to do is just try to get up here and maybe make Patrick Trebek maybe slip just a little bit. I think that might be what Gardner's doing. Slip back just a little bit, cool those tires off, and then have a shot right here at the end of the race. I think that's exactly what Jeremy's trying to do right here. And maybe end up trying to put, Goshen, make him be the pick. Wherever Goshen goes, if, Gardner are able to get into the back bumper of Patrick Trebek, and wherever Goshen goes, try to pin him in behind the 85, and then that way Gardner can get a clear shot right past him. That could be the thing, but to your point, as far as the laps goes, it differs, really. It differs when you think that, your truck is capable of being able to get around them. But I would not doubt one bit Patrick Trebek may end up trying to use James Goshen as a pick, as they have closed in on him right here, 15 laps to go.
I was about to say, James has actually been putting some good laps in anyway, so you're not approaching James and two for now. James has actually got, he's got, the last time he boxes was lap 86, so they're similar on tyres between the two drivers. Remember, Brandon has the best boots in town there on a lap 100 he boxed on. But his lap time's 30.6. His last lap, 31.15. He's only about 1/10 quicker than everybody else, which this far down, 16 seconds not going to be enough. Granted, I give the man a strategy call. Hadn't over yet for trying a gamble there. It may not have paid off, but here we go. Now, Patrick, of course, is going to get the slipstream here from James Goshen. That's the key. James, the 85 machine, is going to be the one to navigate through the field. This is why you love lap cars, lap traffic, and everything like that. Don't talk to some of the broadcasters I know about lap traffic, because there's no blue flags here.
No, there absolutely isn't. And another thing that may end up working against Patrick Trebek right here is dirty air. if Trebek ends up getting in behind James Goshen right there, obviously, you know, Trebek, he's been out there by himself at the front. I mean, he's had nobody in front of him. Granted, he's had Gardner straight up his tailgate, but he's had nobody in front of him. As you see Trebek, he's starting to slide up the racetrack a little bit right here behind Goshen. That dirty air is going to play a little bit of a factor, because what it's going to do is going to end up starting to get Trebek to slide up the racetrack. He's going to start getting tight, but Trebek has to run it down on the bottom. He's got to use what draft he can to try to get away from Jeremy Gardner, but he's got to try to get away from the draft going into the corner, because that dirty air will slide him right up the racetrack. Goshen's going to go all the way to the top side. Trebek's going to slide up. Gets into his door banging, coming off of turn 4. But Trebek able to get it down on the bottom of the racetrack. Wow, that could have been crazy. Trebek goes in the fence.
It was.
Trebek goes in the fence. Caution is on the speedway. Holy hell, Dean, what did we just see?
Well, what did we say out there? You could say it in chat. Starts with B, has 2 letters in the middle, and it ends with an F. That's beef.
Oh my! Oh my God! I am speechless right now, Dean. I am straight up speechless right there. We'll take a look at it right here on the instant replay.
Oh.
I mean, it looked like, I mean, honestly, from what it's showing right there, it looked like Trebek, like he may have came up the racetrack right there. Yeah, he did. And there was net code. There was net code with the right rear quarter panel of Trebek to the left front of Goshen. But, yeah, I mean, you see Trebek go all the way from the bottom and just jump straight up. He thought he was clear to jump up in front of Goshen. But, oh my gosh, that right there, that changes this race dramatically. It erases the lead that Patrick Trebek and Jeremy Gardner had over Eddie Smith. And look who's, I mean, look at that right there. But it also erases that lead of the number 39 of Brandon Evans, who was back about 14 seconds from all of this. Brandon Evans,
but
he's found new life.
He's going.
Everybody going down.
Else. Yeah,
everybody's going down, getting 4 fresh tires right here, Dean. They want to go ahead, soup them trucks up right here for the end of the race. I mean, not too many more laps left to go. There's the replay right there. I mean, well, Dean, I mean, what are you thinking on this?
Well, I mean, they wanted, I mean, for you asking, you get a course out there, because we appreciate everybody that supports and watches these races out there. So you want a cockpit view. I'm just going to rewind it back a little bit. And you'll get it, of course, because you asked, you shall receive. There it is. So this is a cockpit view of Patrick. That's just hard to tell. Is it from Patrick you wanted the view from? I'm not quite sure who, but anyway.
Well, I mean, we saw that right there. We'll check James Goshen's view.
James, okay.
If we'll check James Goshen's view and see if Goshen came down. I mean, from what it looked like, honestly, Dane, it looked like, you know, it looked like Trebek just drifted up the racetrack from what it looked like. I mean, Goshen really didn't have anywhere to go. It looked like he held his line very comfortable. Well, I guess you could say very comfortably. I mean, he looked like, you know, that he was good to go right there.
I'll rewind it back a little bit, sorry.
Yeah, we may have to come back just a little bit. I mean, obviously his wheel was going to the left a little bit. We'll check it out right here. See what's up. I mean, obviously, he's got the wheel kicking to the left right here.
Right? Yeah.
We'll see right here. I mean, yeah, Goshen still got the wheel to the left, still got the wheel to the left. I'm telling you, I mean, that thing, Trebek went all the way from the bottom and slid up. You see Goshen, his wheel does kick a little bit to the left right there. But, I mean, the way that the tri-oval is right here at Vegas, I mean, you got to keep turning when you're coming out of the tri-oval. I think that was just a bad deal right there, is what it was. But Trebek's truck does not look like it's tore up that bad. Honestly, it does not look like it's tore up that bad. But now you're going to get the race that basically, from what I'm thinking, everybody viewing, they wanted to see this right here. Gardner leading, Smith sitting second, Patrick Trebek third, and look who's up to fourth, Brandon Evans.
And look who the final four are for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Hollywood. Could you script that? I mean, Disney of late. Yeah, Disney, you can't even script this one that well. There you go. Oh, sorry. We're going to get murdered on that one later on. Anyway, ignore that one. Beep. Cut that out later on the tape. But there it is at the moment. So the final 4 for the championship are in the top 4 positions. There you have it. This, you want beef, my friend, with about just under 8 to go. I guarantee you somebody's going to throw that car into a corner anywhere they possibly can and just hope that the camera catches that car nose across the line before anybody else.
And something also to mention, I mean, you know, and I did say it very briefly about the contact, you know, with Drabick and Goshen. There was netcode. And Dean, you've actually elaborated on, you know, this broadcast, on previous broadcasts, about what netcode is. It's about IP addresses not matching up. Somebody's IP address may be a little bit too much higher than somebody else's, causes lag in the server. And you know, it's like I've said before, Dean. I mean, that's just one of them things where, and you know, my eyes, and you know, I'm probably going a little bit too far here. Probably should save it for that the door banging download, honestly, for this one right here. But this is something that I wish iRacing would fix, because to be honest with you, it does suck.
Well,
I mean, it really does.
I mean, to cut on that one quickly, it's honestly the biggest beef at the moment that people have. In road races, it's a lot worse than it is on oval. I believe that iRacing, as has been mentioned to me, that focus a lot more on, because it's so much more closer, remember, in oval racing, right? You're talking about inches away from each car consistently all the time. Road races, you don't get that close until you know, start approaching a car last minute into a corner. So road races is 100 times worse, my friend, than it is in oval. So you're pretty much lucky that iRacing is working on it. And then we are lucky we're going to get into the final dying stages of our championship 4. Jeremy, Eddie, Patrick, and Brandon. Who wants it? Grab it. It's yours.
Gardner's going to get away very, very cleanly on that restart. Brandon Evans all the way up in the back bumper of Eddie Smith. Now Smith jumps down to the bottom, jumps right in front of Patrick Drabick. Drabick's truck does not look like it is tore up at all, so he looks like he should be in prime position to have a shot to still try to go for a championship. Gardner still in the lead, Smith second, Patrick Drabick third. Drabick gets loose off of 4. Evans goes around the top side, so move Brandon Evans up to the 3rd spot. Everybody trying to see if they can get around Patrick Drabick, as Eddie Smith's going to go to the top side for the lead.
This could be it. We got to get down to 5 laps to go. And there's no more messing around, gentlemen. Don't forget, Brandon's in here, in play. This could have been a mastermind strategy. That safety car has pace cars come back. I don't think Patrick's in trouble. Patrick's too far back at the moment with 5 laps to go. Unless we have a little ring-a-ding-a-ding and a bang fest with these drivers, it's going to be any of these top 3 at the moment there. Who wants it? Jeremy, Eddie, and Brandon going for the championship hopes.
As we've said before, Dean, I think we may end up seeing a little bit of beef out here at Vegas. Here we go. Smith jumps up to the top. Wow, Evans slams Gardner going into turn 3. Smith all by himself on the top side. Brandon Evans needed the caution, and damn it, he got it. Here he goes all the way from 4th all the way up to 2nd from the restart. 3 laps to go. Gardner still leads. Evans all over the back bumper. The 2 class trucks of the field all season long are going to duke it out here at Las Vegas for the championship. Jeremy Gardner, Brandon Evans, but don't count out Eddie Smith right behind them.
Oh, this is going to be a nail biter right now. Do not stare away from the screens. Put your tray tables upright and your seat in the upright position, because this is going down to the wire. 3 to go. Jeremy needs to hold off with a little bit of pinch of a lead there. Brandon's mounting a challenge. In fact, he's getting a push there from Eddie Smith.
Smith going to try to use the draft and try to maybe shove Brandon Evans past Jeremy Gardner, but Gardner going to get stuck down on the bottom side. Almost door bang coming off of turn 2. Smith comes up, gives Gardner a shot on the bottom side. Evans trying to pinch them both down on the white line. Gardner's going to get away cleanly for now with the lead. Here comes Patrick Drabick right back smack dab in the middle of this. White flag on the Speedway. Who wants to win the championship for the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series? Jeremy Gardner all by himself at the front. Drabick and Evans fighting hard for that third spot. Where will Eddie Smith go? Everybody hugging that white line. Smith's going to jump up to the top. Maybe try to make a run on the top side. Drabek's going to send it in on the bottom side. Gardner may have this sucker in the bag coming off of turn 4. Door banging for second place, but Jeremy Gardner's going to win the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series Championship and win the race here at Las Vegas.
Wow. And yeah, wow. Brennan ends up finishing in P5, actually. Patrick, what a charge back on that one. Eddie Smith stuck in there the whole time there. Jeremy Gardner, of course, is going to be the right place at the right time. He got it done. It's going to feel good. Sure, he'll be celebrating right now in that truck. He not only won the championship fight, but he won the regular season as well, too. So, ecstatic. Give it to the other drivers, of course, there. To everybody, man. And that is just the way you celebrate. That is exciting.
He is burning it down on the front straight away, and I'm sure Jeremy Gardner, he is absolutely ecstatic. Won the regular season championship. Won the playoffs. Won the whole thing. Basically winning every championship that he can. Winning a lot of races this season. There you see it right there, the results. Jeremy Gardner gets the win. Eddie Smith will get second. Patrick Drabek will get third. Jamie Barkus able to sneak up there and grab him a fourth spot. Brandon Evans will round out the top 5. Cody McElwain, the last truck to finish on the lead lap. Then James Kaufman, Doug Ellingson, Jacob Ellingson, and James Goshen. That is the 10-truck field here this evening at Las Vegas. And Gardner, at this point, he could give a damn about the tires. He is just burning them down on the front stretch.
As Elvis Presley would say in Las Vegas, return to sender. No returning the sender at the moment. There is no refunds required. We'll have a short commercial break, and we're going to have to get these gladiators in for a quick yarn. And what a season has been. Don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Las Vegas for the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series. We have concluded this season, and we're going to go ahead, why not, bring him in, the champion, Mr. Jeremy Gardner in the house, winning the championship, winning the race. Jeremy, I mean, talk us through that last restart, because I'm sure, from what I saw, I'm sure you was not really wanting to see the caution come out with Drabek going up into the fence right there. I'm sure you didn't want to see that because obviously looked like you was saving a little bit, but talk us through, just that whole last restart.
Yeah, that was fun. The turnout was a little tonight, but actually that was a lot of fun. Starting out with Trebek, I was just trying to save my tires behind him. I could tell he was kind of sending it in there, so I was just like, I'm just going to lay back for right now and just wait till about 10 to go. But then that caution came out, and that's when everything I thought was going to go to hell. But just tried to play it smart. Honestly, I was a little nervous that I was just going to get trained by on the outside and somebody just go by. So I was trying to hold all the lanes I could, and somehow it worked out. So definitely wasn't expecting that. I have not had the best of luck at Las Vegas, that's for sure.
What's it feel like to be a champion in the Jam Printing Promotions Truck Series?
Feels good, man. I definitely feel like I drove my ass off all year. I mean, regular season champ, now taking this too. It feels pretty damn good.
Absolutely. It damn sure would to be able to basically sweep the championships, if you will. Jeremy Gardner gets the win. And Jeremy, I'll actually probably ask the same question that, Dean is probably thinking right here. You won the championship. You won the regular season championship. You won the playoffs, won the whole thing. What are you going to do now?
I'm going to go on the next season and trying to win that championship too.
Oh, well, I was thinking you was going to say Disney World.
If you're paying, I will.
Nah, I ain't
Jacob,
paying,
he's
Lord,
already
no.
been on enough roller coasters for one night. You really want to send him on another one?
Oh, man, my big ass ain't getting a no roller coaster.
With Jeremy Gardner getting the win, getting the regular season championship, and also knocking it down, winning the playoffs, winning the overall championship. And Jeremy, before we let you go, if you got anybody, any sponsors, family members, friends, anybody that you want to thank that made it possible for you to win the championship this season.
I just shout out to my friends that are watching. Shout out to the league. This is probably my favorite league to run in, honestly. I love everybody in here. Love racing with everybody in here. As always, y'all put on a hell of a broadcast. I love y'all's broadcast. All the enthusiasm behind it. It's great.
Well, we damn sure appreciate that, Jeremy. Congratulations, and savor that championship. And hopefully we'll be talking to you next season in the same situation.
Yes, sir. You'll see me next season.
That was Jeremy Gardner. Obviously very, very excited to get that win right there, Dean. I mean, he was your pick last week. I'm not real sure if you end up making that pick this week to have him as your race winner. I was thinking Eddie Smith or Brandon Evans, but Gardner, I mean, he put on a hell of a show right there.
Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to get a pick in, actually, because I was trying to sort out the little technical issues in the background there, which we got resolved, thankfully. So, yeah, at this point...
Hey, you'd have took him anyway. Probably.
Well, who knows at that point? It was so close, really, with all those drivers at the end. So you never know until Barney waves that flag. So we'll see who we have next, of course. Is, well, you said your pick. Perhaps we'll pull your pick of Eddie Smith into the booth.
Yeah, we're going to bring Eddie Smith up here in the booth. Don't really know, which nickname we want to go with, the Victoria's Secret Truck or the Tide Truck. He throws us a curveball every single week, it seems like. But Eddie, I mean, so close to getting the championship, so close to getting it. I know it's got to be heartbreak, but, I mean, did you think your race was completely screwed when, you lost it going into the pits right there earlier on before that caution?
Yeah. I got a sequential shifter and it went from third down to first, so I just completely skipped over second. She came around. Luckily, I didn't blow my motor. But yeah, I thought I had run a pretty good race up to that point. I felt pretty good about what I was doing, saving tire early. Was able to run Jeremy and Pat down on that first run, and came out the pit cycle. Me and Jeremy worked together to try to run down Pat after staying out a few laps longer. Worked over Pat, got out in the lead, and thought, I had control of the race. And yeah, Pat came down, decided to come down pit road, and then it shifted down to first. And I thought, I said, well, that's it. That's all. Nothing you can do about that.
No, there really ain't nothing you can do about it. But, I mean, obviously, the caution coming out, obviously, we hated to see it from Patrick Trevig, getting, involved in that whole deal. But, I mean, I'm sure you were tickled death to see the caution, because you was like, hell yeah, we got a shot now. Now we got a shot to try to go ahead and win the championship. Just take us through that whole last restart right there, because we talked to Jeremy about it. He said he thought it was going to get, crazier than what it really was. But, I mean, your take on that last restart.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas in the trucks is super speedway for the first 5 to 10 laps. You run flat out right on the bottom. And if you give up the bottom, you're going to lose the race. And he was talking about the top side, but the top side just doesn't work unless for some reason you can get people to work together. But I just don't think it would work either way. The bottom's just too strong. You can make the outside work later in the run, maybe 15 laps in, but I mean, I knew starting on the outside of the front row was going to be in trouble, and I had to figure out a way to get down to the bottom. I got lucky there and got down to the bottom. Just couldn't do anything with Jeremy protecting the bottom like that, and so I knew if I went high, they were just going to go low. So Brandon got a run. Yeah, I just let him go in hopes that maybe they would make contact and, check up. Maybe there's a way I could get through, but man, they raced clean. I gave a push down the back straightaway to Jeremy and got back by Brandon. And it was just there's nothing you can do. I mean, you're all full throttle. You're using the draft. Jeremy did a great job of protecting the bottom. It's just what he had to do. Just like Daytona Talladega. It's just we just don't have the group of cars to work around the outside. So. I don't think there's anything I could have done. I felt pretty good about that last restart. I did the best I could.
That's all anybody could ask of you right there, Eddie. And Eddie, finishing second, you'll end up finishing second in the points. But, I mean, still a hell of a season for the Tide, Victoria's Secret, however you want to look at it at this point. But before we let you go into the off season and get ready for next season, have you got anybody that you want to thank that made this season be a hell of a season for Eddie Smith?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to meet you guys. Like what y'all do. So that's been really awesome to have y'all on board for this series. Pat and Jamie for what they do, all the Goat Locker guys. And then the Final Four there. Honestly, any one of them could have won, and I feel like they deserve it. Jeremy won, and I feel like he deserves it. If Pat would have won, which is really disappointing what happened to him. But if he would have won it, he would have deserved it. Brandon, same thing. So I felt like everybody was deserving those Final Four. They were just awesome to race with all season long, and the whole field was really, really great. So, I want to thank them. I want to thank Todd and my smoking hot wife.
Smoking hot wife. Yeah. There you go. Go ahead, Dane.
Yeah, I was going to say very clever. Well, smoking hot wife should be thanked first, but that's fine. And my other question was...
You saved the best for last, Dean.
Oh, that's true, actually. And I was going to say, so, out of that very sweaty last race at the end there, of course, when you get out of your overalls, I can imagine what detergent you'll be using, right?
Oh, Tide all the way, baby. I mean, there's none better. I mean, if I got a stain, I got something to clean, got a stain in my underwear. Man, when I reach into the cabinet and grab a detergent, it's going to be Tide, baby.
I was going to say, you had no code browns towards the end, so you'll be good with that one. But good racing there, Eddie. Congratulations, my friend. So close, but yet it's going to be happy with a P2 overall in the season.
Well, maybe Jeremy will give me a piece of that trophy.
We end up talking to him about that here in a little bit, I'm sure. But Eddie Smith, congratulations. Like I said, on a hell of a season, and can't wait to see what you can do next season, buddy.
See you guys.
That was Eddie Smith. Always a character, honestly, Dane. I mean, he's always a character and always one of those drivers.
They say he's always the bride, never the bridesmaid. Doesn't even work that way. Doesn't work. Anyway, ignore that one. Cut that out of the tape. He is the bride and the bridesmaid.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see. I mean, that's just how the championships work, Dean. I mean, you hate to see. I mean, he said it right there. Any of the four drivers, Brandon, Eddie, Patrick, or Jeremy, any of those guys, they would have been, championship cattle material. That's why they were the Final Four. It would have been well deserved for any of them. But one of them's got to win it, and the other three got to lose it. And I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, you can't have four champions. You only got to have one. And that's just how it is. But anyway, speaking of Patrick, let's go ahead and bring old Patrick Drabick, basically the owner of the Goat Locker Truck Series, Jam Printing and Promotions, all that good stuff. Patrick Drabick getting third tonight. And Pat, I'm telling you, buddy, you had a hell of a race. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, what exactly?
Words, Jacob. Go.
Yeah, I get you, but what exactly happened? When you went in turn one, because from what we looked like, I mean, it looked like you may have just came up just a little bit too much, and obviously there was net code that was involved from what we saw. Your whole take on that.
Yeah, well, I thought it definitely nailed the strategy. Me and Jeremy were able to gap Eddie. Eddie had a mistake on pit road. Really, I was saving tires. Jeremy was saving tires, and really thought I had him there at the end. And then coming up on the lap truck, and he gave me the inside line going into 3, and I thought, okay, he's going to get out of the way. But he raced me all the way through 3, all the way down the front stretch, and then. Yeah, I mean, I went back and watched the replay. There's definitely some net code happening there, but
We got it here right now if you want to see it. Mate.
yeah,
There you go.
no idea why a lap truck is racing the leader with 10 laps to go, but you'll have that. Sucks. Damn sure thought I was going to bring home, another championship this season, but got wadded up there at the end.
I mean, and from what we saw, I mean, obviously coming back, finishing third right there, didn't look like the truck was as tore up as it obviously looks like it would have been in the replay. But obviously, I mean, you come down to that restart, everybody's jockeying for position, everybody's trying to jump down to the bottom, just trying to cut the track as much as they possibly can. What's your mindset going into that final 6 laps on that restart, knowing that you got to get up there and try to get around Garner to get that? Just to be able to get the win in the championship.
Man, I just knew it was going to be chaos. My truck got a little loose, and then kind of fell back of him. Knew I'd catch right back up to him, and then you knew there was going to be some chaos, and trying to jockey to the outside and inside, and all those types of things. And really, I was just going to hang on and see what happened, and try to be in the right place at the right time. But man, I can't say enough about Jeremy. Man, he's a great champion, great season, all the races, man, a blast to race with, super fun, super respectful. So a very, very deserving champion.
Awesome for you to say that, Patrick, and a very deserving Jam Printing and Promotion season, and as well as a very well deserving league that that you have right here. I mean, it's gonna be real awesome to see how everything evolves next season, because I'm sure that every single season you always want to try to make the next one better than the last one.
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, we got a lot of big things going on, and it's always a privilege to come up here and be able to chat with you guys, because you guys allow me to talk about what we're doing as a nonprofit and as a league. But we got a lot of really big things going on in the nonprofit world as well. Some really big sponsors coming in. So some huge announcements coming up. I'm not going to leak anymore. I got in trouble last time I interviewed with you. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to leak anything, so I won't leak anything this time either.
We got
Oh, okay. Okay, good. You got the button ready? Nice. But man, I'm so excited for next season because of the things we're going to be able to do. We had some huge sponsorship come in that's going to allow us to do so much for the league. I mean, I've got a bunch of T-shirts on order. We've got hats. I've got dog tags. I've got decals. The Truck Series drivers are going to get a whole package of stuff from Goat Locker Racing. I mean, it is going to be awesome.
Do you have beef for Jacob? Because he loves it.
I can find some.
All right. And a quick shout out, of course, to Jam Printing and Promotions, just to let everybody know, of course, how does that obviously, as a business there, and reflects on how obviously everybody can be a part of. Oh, there you go. Just got a little bit of a tap there. I'm just watching a replay there from number 1. But
yeah. We're coming to the line. We're door banging each other. That's all good fun right there. I mean, you're going to lose the race. You might as well have some fun. Eddie Smith's awesome too, man. Yeah, I mean, Jam Printing and Promotion's done a lot for us. Always been on the side of my truck, my cars, everything like that. If you own anything or have anything that has Goat Locker Racing on it, if you've ever gotten one of our hats, T-shirts, whatever it is, Jam Printing and Promotion does all of that for us. They're an awesome, better-known company here in Indianapolis that just do awesome stuff, and I can't say enough good things about them. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming. Again, a lot of really cool announcements, man. I'm not going to tie you guys up any longer. I really, truly appreciate the work you guys put in this season for us. It has been awesome having you as a partner. I love listening to the races and watching the races. You guys do phenomenal work. So from Goat Locker Racing, thanks to you guys.
Well, we thank you, Patrick. I'm sure, I'm speaking for Dean as well. And Dean, if you want to chime in, you're more than welcome to, right here.
No, you're fine. I think that's very kind words, actually, because I think we all put everybody, actually, community as well, everybody in the chat as well, too, that supports us, because we're live entertainment, and the viewers that are tuning in as well to watch the whole series. Well, we'd like to engage you, and we hope we're doing it right. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I meant everybody but Dean. I don't really like that guy.
Ending broadcast right now. Goodbye. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Well, Patrick Trebek, I mean, fantastic season, able to get third, and I know you've already talked about Jam Printing and Promotions. You thanked us. You thanked a lot of other people. Is there anybody else that you want to thank?
Man, just a big shout out to anybody that gives us love and support. We're here to support veterans and first responders, and to give them a place to come race, set aside the woes of the day or whatever the heck it is, and come out here and race. And I can't be more proud of that. And the guys that I'm surrounded by here in this league, it's awesome, man. This is more than a racing league. We're out here doing a lot of great work for our nation's warriors and first responders. So everybody that's involved with that, from you guys to our sponsors to behind the scenes people, I've got a lot of love for them and a special place in my heart.
We appreciate you, Patrick. Congratulations on third place this season in this race, and obviously in the championship, and can't wait to see you next season, buddy.
All right, brother. You guys take care.
That was Patrick Trebek. I mean, and you hate to see, what happened with him right there. Gosh, and he talked about it, kind of wish that the lap truck would have given us a little bit more room. And I mean, that happens, Dean. I mean, that's how racing is, honestly. I mean, everybody think, I mean, that's the common courtesy rule. I mean, you talked about it as well, to be able to give a little bit of room, but in the end, Jeremy Gardner gets the win. Dean, your final thoughts on this race, and obviously on the season, and what we got to look forward to next season.
Well, you're the first, the first gentleman that the Redneck Casto course it's taught me a lot about commentating in the truck series, and I appreciate everybody out there that has supported this series as well as the many other series of the NASRA that we also produce as well. And so, as a newbie coming in from a Formula One background, from road racing and stuff like that, the community's been fantastic, and thank you for sticking with me as well, especially in this series and other series, so that I can learn. I'm a newbie, but trust me, I know racing, I know beef, I know door banging. It's just at a little different perspective. Give me a little bit of time, but thank you very much, Jacob, as well as everybody else in this fantastic Locker series and NASRA for giving me the opportunity to head up here into the fantastic United States of America of motor racing. And going left all the time is actually fun. I'm enjoying it. I think it's great racing.
Absolutely, it is fantastic racing. And folks, that is going to close it out here for this season for the Jam Printing Promotions Truck Series with Goat Locker Trucks as well. And folks, I mean, I'm sure the season, it's been a good one, but next season is going to be fantastic as well. If you want to be able to try to stay up to date with me or Dean, get with us. We'll give you social channels, be able to stick with us. Big thanks, to Patrick Trebek and, everybody over there at Goat Locker. Huge thanks to Brady LaBeouf, Cody Knott, all those guys with the NASRA 360 Racing Network, getting us in here, letting us be able to watch some of the best racing that, honestly, I can say this honestly, Dean, that I have seen all year with these guys. It's been a pleasure to sit here and call these races right beside everybody and see every bit of this. It's going to be a blast to see what happens next season. You heard Patrick talk about some stuff. Kate talk about it. Kate, got some secrets going on. We'll see how all that turns out later on. But with that being said, we want to congratulate the number 42, Jeremy Gardner, winning the race and the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series Championship here tonight at Las Vegas. Everybody be safe, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next season.